Hello students, I welcome you all on the online platform of Standard 5 English. Let us begin this academic year with an interesting poem related with the beautiful things that are created by our great Almighty. So let's start with the first poem. The title of the poem is What a Bird Thought. First, I'll give you a brief introduction about the poem. In this poem, a bird is talking to us and telling us about its journey from the time it was in an eggshell to the time when it grew very big and was able to fly high up in the sky. While studying this poem, we'll realize that each time the bird viewed the world from a different angle. It felt that the whole world was just like his nest where he lived in. Now I'll be explaining the poem in detail. Let's start with the first stanza. I'll first read the stanza. Students, please listen to it carefully. I lived first in a little house and lived there very well. The world to me was small and round and made of pale blue shell. First, I'll explain the first two lines. In the first two lines, the bird is describing its house. The bird is telling us that his first house was a little house. Means the house was very small and tiny. But even though his house was small, he lived there very well. He really enjoyed staying there. His little house was like a heaven for him. Now, let's proceed with the next two lines. The world to me was small and round and made of pale blue shell. Here, the meaning of pale blue means light colored and shell means outer cover of an egg. Now, in the last two lines, the bird is telling us that while staying in its nest, he felt that the world outside was also small and round, just like his little nest, and he also thought that it was made up of pale blue shell. The last line of the stanza indicates that the bird is still in its egg and has not yet come out because the egg has not yet been hatched. Now let's proceed with the second stanza. I'll read the stanza. I lived next in a little nest, nor needed any other. I thought the world was made of straw and covered by my mother. In the first two lines of the stanza, the bird is telling us that after coming out of the shell, it started living in a wonderful nest. Again here, the bird describes its nest as little and tiny. The bird is telling us that it was very happy in its little nest and that it didn't need any other. Isn't it, children? Aren't we just like the little bird? We all love our house, don't we? No matter whether our house is small or big, it does not bother us. We all are happy in our house and we love our house a lot. We always call our home as a sweet home. Now let's move on towards the next two lines of the stanza. I thought the world was made of straw. Here straw means dried grass used for building nest and covered by my mother. Covered means protected. Now in these two lines, the bird thinks that just like its nest, the whole world is also made of straw and is protected by its mother. Let's proceed with the third stanza. I'll read the stanza. One day I fluttered from the nest to see what I could find. I said, the world is made of leaves. I have been very blind. Now I'll explain the first two lines. One day I fluttered from the nest. Here fluttered means to flap wings while flying, to see what I could find. Now in the first two lines, the bird is telling us that it tried to fly and come out of its nest. Do you know, children, why did he do that? Yes, because he wanted to know what all things are present beyond its nest. He wanted to find out the beautiful things present in the nature. Now I'll explain the last two lines. I said the world is made of leaves. I have been very blind. After flying out from its nest, the bird felt that the world was made of leaves. Why do you think, children, the bird felt like that? Yes, because its nest was located in the beautiful trees. When it came out, he could notice only the green leaves everywhere. Now in the last line of the stanza, the bird feels that he was blind. He feels so because earlier the world was like an eggshell for him. Next, it was like a straw. Then the bird realized that the world seemed to be made of leaves. Now, let us begin with the concluding stanza of the poem. I'll read the stanza. At last I flew beyond the tree and saw the sky so blue. Now how the world is really made, I cannot tell. Can you? I'll read the first two lines. At last I flew beyond the tree. Here beyond means far away, and saw the sky so blue. Now in the concluding lines, the bird is telling us that it grew up and it flew far away from the tree. He flew high up in the sky where he could observe the whole world. He observed the sky and realized that the sky is blue and wonderful. Now let's proceed with the concluding lines. Now how the world is really made, I cannot tell. Can you? Now the bird is telling us that he is really confused. It says that he cannot tell how the world is made. It is asking us to describe the whole world. Children, can we describe the world? No, we can't. It's really very difficult because the world is made up of variety of things. We find plenty of things around us like birds, trees, animals, etc. So, it is really very difficult to define how our world is exactly made. So, children, have you all enjoyed the poem? For homework, you have to read the poem. Thank you.